Well, the courthouse clock says 6 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and call this June meeting of the Blount County Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Roger, if you call the roll, please.
Andy Allen's no longer with us. Larry Chesney? Here. Bruce Stamrow, absent. Stan Hedrick? Here. Rob Walker?
Here. If there's no discussion, is there a motion to approve last month's meeting minutes? Tonight we have no special exceptions, no appeals, and 4 variances.
The first variance is at 904 North Union Grove Road. This request is for a variance from the side setback requirements for a garage at 904 North Union Grove Road. The property is identified on tax map 44, parcel 14801, and is located in R1 zone. The required setback is 10 feet. The requested variance is for a 0 setback from the side property line. This is the property owner that had an appeal before you last month. He is requesting a 0 setback and will remove the section of the wall that is across the property line.
Is there anyone here tonight that's in favor of this variance who would like to speak? Is there anything you'd like to add to what Roger just told us?
Yeah, I got the...
Would you mind come up to the microphone so we can hear you a little better, please?
I removed my part of the building off the property line. You can see it. I just took the gutter downspout off.
Oh, I think we know who you are, but for the record, could you tell us your name, please?
Curtis Skyrim.
All right.
I'm the owner of the property. I don't know, North Union Grove. Yeah, I got a little, like, strung up a string line to show you. Just looking at it, I'm not really computer savvy. All of that. That's a surveyor's line. That's from the string on it. And I took the back downspout off because that's what was on his property.
That's your string, right?
Yeah.
There on the
Got
edge,
little
isn't it?
flags on it, see?
Yeah, see the flags. You want to show it to those other gentlemen?
So the building itself won't hold the property
Just downspout.
in the roof? In the roof over
Since their fence, they moved back 5 feet or so.
He put us up his fence, he said he did that big room there.
So you're saying concrete and the siding on the garage is exactly on the line?
The surveyor stable is behind it. The one behind the building, all the way up to the front. There we see a fire come over. And strung a string line there. Come up with it. I mean, it's right there, you know, yes. Just ask for a variance, because I don't see where that's harming anything, you know, you can see where he put his fence and the trees and stuff, those trees will be growing in 3 years, you know. Those are those fast growing trees they plant here, you know.
All right. Thank you. Is there anyone in opposition who would like to speak?
Yes, sir. Tim Levan. And Tim Levan, L-A-V-A-N. I took to Roger a detailed survey of that property. The garage is, the physical garage itself, not just the downspout, is actually over the property line. The physical structure itself, it may be inches, but it is, the physical building is over. And it will show that in the detailed survey.
That's off your survey. But his,
Both surveys said that that was correct. We had a survey, their surveyor agreed that the property lines were correct on both sides.
Mhm.
And
So you're saying the physical concrete
the physical
and
concrete,
the building side
correct.
is over?
Yes, sir.
No
And it does show that on a detailed survey, which I provided Roger with whenever we got all this going. And as far as the fence goes and the trees goes, I can put them anywhere. It's not a big deal. I was kind of waiting to see what happens with all this, and I'll adjust the fence accordingly. I mean, that's not an issue whatsoever as far as we go.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions for me?
I don't at this time. We'll open up the floor to discussion of the board.
Yes.
Have you guys given any consideration to swapping some land?
No, sir.
So you haven't discussed it, or you decided not to do it?
We, as a couple, have decided not to do it. Just providing other circumstances that we don't necessarily need to get into, unless you would like to hear them, which I don't think you do. So no, I'm absolutely not willing to swap any property.
So even
A lot line adjustment.
even if he gave you more land than it took, he gave you more.
I don't want to be difficult, but it would be a substantial amount for me to even consider it. I mean,
So you guys haven't had a conversation trying to work that out?
there's, no, we've not. And there's circumstances that we feel that we shouldn't communicate because we're not under good terms. And that's why I've left it alone. Like I said, not mean to be difficult, but it kind of is what it is. And, you know, we paid what we paid for our property. We paid to have our survey done to know where everything was at. And we don't feel that we should have to give anything away just because somebody else didn't feel that they need to do that when they put their structure up. I know it's petty to some people, but it means a lot to us.
Thank you. That's all you have.
Thank you.
What's the pleasure of the board?
I'm just disappointed we can't work something out.
I'll make a motion that do deny.
I'll second it.
And that's all we're actually, we never done that.
No.
A yes vote means deny.
Yeah, the motion is to deny the zero setback request. And Larry Chesney? Stan Hedrick? Rob Walker?
Yes.
The motion was approved.
Is there anybody that could work as a liaison between the two parties? I get it, that you had some issues, but is there someone that could talk to each party and work something out? You guys are gonna be living there beside each other for a long, long time. So you guys have got children playing there, there's,
Wish it were different.
say that again.
Said I do wish it were different. But to answer your question,
Well, if y'all can't get anything worked out, we're just gonna move on.
thank you.
The next variance tonight, the front setback requirements on, Old Wallen Highway.
This request is for a variance from the front setback requirements at 6746 Old Wallen Highway. The property is identified on tax map 95C, Group A, Parcel 1. The property is zoned R1 with a required setback of 30 feet. The applicant is requesting a variance of 20 feet so that he can place structures 10 feet and 15 feet from the property line. The proposed structures are a shed and a covered deck. The applicant's Stated hardships are the size and slope of the property, and I included a sketch for you guys of what he's proposing. And did you guys get to look at the property?
Yes.
The deck will come off, the pull-off that goes down, the deck will come off of that. It won't come off from up at the road.
So
So,
what building will be on the gravel driveway?
the deck. And the shed will set up on that area that has nothing up at, that's level with the road.
Well, there's only 10 feet there from the edge of the road to where it slopes off down to the driveway. So if you put it up on that flat part of the road, it's gonna be on the road.
Well, at the furthest east end, there's a bigger piece of property there.
So you're saying that this shed, is this a shed or an outhouse?
I have a hard time with the echo in here. I'm sorry.
Larry, you might want to turn your microphone on.
What's gonna be in the storage building?
A storage building is gonna be on the basically, would be on the upstream part of the property where there's like a small peninsula.
It's above the gravel driveway?
It is.
So this is the gravel driveway?
Well, you can't see it on this illustration because it's not there when this photo was taken. But this is the high part. All this up in here is kind of like it's elevated.
The reason I'm asking is that if you look at the gravel driveway that comes in and out of there, there's only 10 feet between the edge of the road and the bank that goes down.
Oh,
to the
yeah.
gravel
This
driveway.
is the gravel driveway, and this will go from the gravel driveway down to the next, the little walking
Yes.
drive.
Yes.
And then this will set up here where it's basically, they removed a big tree that was there, but
Okay.
there's no cutting up here.
Okay, so the gravel driveway then comes in up here before that?
Yeah, it would come in like this.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
I suppose you're in favor of this variance, or you wouldn't be here
I
tonight.
am in
But
favor of
is there
this
anything that you'd like to add to what Roger has just told us?
It's similar to some of the other things that have been on the highway with the decks and whatnot, except I like to have mine covered. And it's a small project, and it's going to actually be an asset to the community because it's going to be something new and nice that's going to go in there. I think Roger can vouch for me that what I've done there is first rate. So anything that goes there is going to look good. It's going to go right with the job with whatever the codes are. It's going to be first rate. And I hope that you all just approve it for me and let me go ahead and start on it.
We'll open up the discussion from the board.
I have a question, Roger.
Yes.
Are you allowed, does Blount County allow structures without restroom facilities to be located?
Yeah, if you have running water, you have to have restroom. I mean, if you have running water, you have to have septic tank.
So
He's not going to have a facility with running water.
So the answer is you are allowed to put a shed,
Yeah.
a freestanding storage building or a shed, and not have restroom facilities.
Yes.
That's my question. Okay.
Any other discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
The motion was to approve the variance request. Larry Chesney,
Yes.
Stan Hedrick,
Yes.
Rob Walker.
Yes. If you can get started.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The third variance request tonight is the front setback requirements on 532 Long Ridge Way.
Yeah.
Maryland.
This, and I'm surprised this fellow's not here. This request is for a front setback at the property at 532 Mogridge Way. Property's identified on tax map 70, parcel 34.04. And the applicant is requesting to build onto his garage from the side of his existing garage, which is flush with his house, to match the structure, which does not meet our 30-foot setback. The home is approximately 30 feet from the edge of the pavement, 17 feet from the property line, which the house pre-existed the division of the property, which required the right-of-way to be established. And it actually mentions, and I don't know how this ties into us, but it mentions on his plat, the subdivision plat for that, if the home is ever destroyed, then they'll have to build back and meet the setback requirements. The only problem with that is the septic system's right behind that house, so that's a private deed restriction, but as far as our zoning is concerned, he could build back on that same footprint. But I just wanted to mention that in there. And his claimed hardship is the fact that his septic system is in the back of the property and that he wants to match up with the front of the house.
Okay, the garage is facing the road.
Yes,
Is he building on the side of the garage or on the front of the garage?
the side.
So when he gets through with his garage, it will be no closer to the road than the existing garage.
Correct. It'll match the existing front plane of the house.
Okay, okay.
They don't need to request the setbacks for the side. even though he's-
Yeah, yes, he's just gonna build a one car onto the side. He just needs an extra parking area.
On the subdivision, I got a problem with that. The location of the existing home is grandfathered due to its predating for the subdivision plat. Plat does not, the plat does note this and mentions it to the home or destroyed or rebuilt would be required to meet setbacks.
That should be note,
Right.
not.
Yeah.
And I got a problem if the subdivision plat notes that, and says, we don't want more buildings this close to we want setbacks on any new buildings, whether it's a burnt down building or whatever. And if you look at the subdivision, three out of the 10 houses in that subdivision are sitting close to the road. I assume they were the first ones that's built in it.
Yeah.
The other ones are meeting setbacks, pretty nice homes. I sort of go along with the note on the subdivision plat.
Well, keep in mind, I just mentioned that it's noted in the subdivision. We don't enforce that. It's a private restriction. I know we've talked about the private restrictions and what we can enforce. The only thing we can enforce is zoning regulations. If that house was to get destroyed by a tornado or burned down tonight, he could come in and get a building permit from us and be completely legal by our zoning requirements to build back in that same footprint.
The same.
Now, he may have a problem with the HOA or whatever, but as far as the county zoning, he would be okay.
But the county zoning wouldn't let him build that garage on it. If he's
Correct, because that's why he's asking for a variance. Any new structures are required to meet the setback.
Well, there's quite a bit of land there behind his house, and I know it says the septic tank is behind it, but.
It is, and it's very poor soils, and it's a minimal size lot to be on septic anyway. So, I mean, it was taxing to get the septic system in for that.
But it looks to me like some of the other houses are as close to the road as this house is.
There's a. Did you
Well,
count
this-
three? Yeah, the one actually beside it, if you look at that picture, it's 534. It's actually closer.
Yeah. This is the same road we had the guy built on the lot line and came in and asked for.
Back at the back, yeah.
at the back.
So, if this is a subdivision deal, even though we don't enforce, or we don't have no say on the subdivision, POAs or nothing like that, we don't even want to recognize those?
You don't have the authority to.
Well, this doesn't permit the homeowners association from telling me he can't do it.
No.
We're just saying from a county point of view,
Exactly.
we're okay with it. Now, if you wanna go to your POA, Property Owners Association, and get them to approve it, you could do that.
Mhm.
Have you heard anything from
I hadn't, I'm not sure if they've got an active one or not, to be honest with you. I think that's in Maryville's planning jurisdiction, and I think that's just kind of a standard issue stamp that they put on plats. I don't know.
What is a standard issue to put on the plats?
If it doesn't meet the setback requirement, it has to, any new structures have to.
Has nobody else complained that's in that subdivision?
About the request,
Yeah, to build.
I hadn't had any phone calls on it.
Your sign's up,
Yes, the
Yeah.
sign is there.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Since nobody has complained that lived on it, I'll say.
Larry Chesney,
Yes.
Stan Hedrick,
Yes.
Rob Walker.
Yes. Last and not least, density requirements on 110 Temple Road.
Yeah, this is, I think everybody will know it as Hickory Corner. And the illustration I gave you is how the property's divided right now. And this is in the R1 zone, and our required density is 1.2 units per acre. The applicant's requesting the variance in order to replat the 3 parcels. And currently, there are 3 lots at the corner of Temple and Cereaville Road. Those lots contain a mix of uses: an RV business, a private home, and a manufactured home park. What they're trying to do is divide those lots and have the separate uses on the separate lots in order to be able to market them and sell them. The manufactured home park actually has 52 units or 52 spaces that I could count. And it would be located on a 10-acre parcel. And of course, that density is well over what we allow, but it is a pre-existing park, and we would not be adding any units to the park, only changing the property lines in order to place the park on one parcel. And I included those rough surveys. They're pretty accurate surveys, but it's nothing carved in stone because they're having to go through variance procedures through the Planning Commission as well. And this was part of the stipulations that they get this variance from the BZA. They did give them a green light to go on with it. The Environmental Health Department is looking at it, and they may lose some of the lots because of septic issues, but regardless, it's not going to lose enough to bring them into our density requirements. So that's what they're requesting. And if you look at the plats, you've got a house and 10 units on one lot. You've got one lot that's got 12 units on it. And then you've got one lot that's got the store and RV business and a garage, and then 30 units on it. And if you look at the proposed lots, you've got the house on about 8/10 of an acre. You got the commercial uses on one parcel that's about 2 acres, and then the remaining land would have the 52 units on it.
That'd be a better way to subdivide it anyway.
Well, it cleans up all the property lines actually to where they can sell off. And what they're trying to sell is the manufactured home park.
If you look at the proposed plan,
Mm-hmm.
and someone came in and said, here's what we want to do, would any of those meet our setback requirements? My concern is that we're gonna give 12 variances in those 3 lots, because every side is gonna be not meet our setbacks.
No, they're not requesting setback variance.
My point was, that house, all those buildings,
these are roughly sketched in. I mean, these aren't exact as far as if you're looking, and plus this is greatly shrunk.
I understand it,
But the only variance they're seeking is the only variance they're requesting is for the density issue that's out there.
and you're saying,
And the property line up at the house that you mentioned isn't really moving.
but you're saying that house meets the setback requirement that we would require today, if that lot, they want to put that house on that 1/18 of an acre.
No, I'm not saying that at all. It may not. But that lot line's not changing if you look at the two
It'd be grandfathered in.
proposals.
All I'm saying is, I'm concerned that we're approving a whole lot of setbacks.
Those lots exist. Those lines exist. The only lot that's gonna be added is this one, the only line as far as the setback issue. Now, I don't know how far that is on that. I see what you're saying here, that those setbacks wouldn't be met.
No.
But-
And this wouldn't fit our density.
No, and that's the only one we're asking for the variance.
So how many units could you put in there and meet our density?
On 10 acres, what, maybe 12, 13, 1.2 units per acre, so you're looking at 14 units? 15 units? No.
My question would be, if you go back to our.
Now, is that 10 acres right in here where the mobile home park is, or the whole thing is 10
No,
acres?
that would just be this,
3X
this whole lot.
there.
Yeah, but right now, is it all 10 acres?
No, it's over 10 acres.
Okay, well, my question was.
Yeah,
if
this
it was
is
all
10,
and
this
you're-
is
and you're
2, and that's
separating
another
this,
acre,
you're
so it's
the-
about 13 acres
Oh,
now.
okay.
On this one, it's got the 52, the proposed 52 units, mobile home line.
Yeah.
What's, if a person approved this and he thought that 52 unit mobile home park right there, with nothing meeting current standards, what all can you do to improve it? Could you, if you were to buy,
Fixed septic issues.
there would be septic issues?
There are septic, you could get 12 units, my bad. On 10 acres, you could get 12 units.
So they're asking for 4X variance, 4X.
So if this is approved, that mobile home park, which has septic issues and stuff already, of course, we can't address that, that's addressed somewhere else. You've got that whole situation, bad situation.
Yeah, and this, the planning commission, the way they looked at it, they're taking a bad situation. You can't get rid of it. You can't say, no, you gotta get rid of it. They're looking at it, you're taking a bad situation and making it better.
Well, that's what we did on the other side of the road one time.
Yeah.
We took a bad situation, made it better, we still got a bad situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna be, it is what it is, and, it's a situation where they may end up losing a few sites due to, there's just no reserve for septic. So in the environmental department stance on it is, if you get a septic system failing, the only way to fix it is to pull a unit out. So, and they're gonna notate all that on the plat so that any buyer would beware. But that's not our ball of wax. All they're asking here is for, all those lots out there are not in compliance with our density as they sit now.
The whole area.
Yeah.
So if we do this, we can make two.
Been that way
lots.
forever.
We'll make 2 lots compliant with our density,
Well,
where the house is in the building, the rest of it.
yeah, at least you'd have 2, but the commercial use has its own issues too. The only one that stands good is the house.
Well, if they have enough lots, their septic fields fail, they start yanking those mobile homes out, it'll meet our density requirements eventually,
Yeah.
sadly.
So the lot that's not the mobile homes and not the house, it has a septic to handle those buildings?
Nobody knows where it is. Can't find it. It's all under impacted surface. Gravel, compacted over the years from RVs and whatnot going in and out, so.
I mean, there's like
They can find the tanks.
school buses and stuff
Yeah.
like that sitting in there. So they're parking and everything on top of the septic field.
More than likely.
Because you don't know what it is.
What's the pleasure of the board?
At least, if we approve this, we at least get all the mobile homes in one plat. The way it is now, there's three plats, you've got three different mobile home issues. So, in the scheme of things, if you could consolidate all the mobile homes into one plat, and then any sewer problems is all on one, and all that stuff. I think the net effect is it ain't gonna hurt.
My concern is then is that the improvements, we're condoning this 4X density.
Well, it's gonna stay a 4X density whether we condone it or not.
Yeah, we can't make it go away because it's pre-existing.
So, based on, I make a motion to approve cutting it up in the proposed lots rather than keeping it existing.
Well, I'll second it, if Larry doesn't want to.
Got a motion and a second. Larry Chesney? Stan Hedrick? Rob Walker?
Yes.
I don't think it approves. I don't think it passes with the vote.
What's the majority?
Majority vote.
It's a majority that's present. I'll have to check. I don't know if it's a majority that's present or a majority of 5. I'll check.
Should be a
If
majority.
not,
I'll put a
we
question
can look
mark.
at it again next month
If
then.
that's the case, we shouldn't even have a meeting.
No. I'll check. Hey, I'd have been fine with that.
Any other business now?
Just an update on the Hunt Road Tower. I got a call and they were about to order the tower, the painted tower, and they got a letter from the FAA that if they paint it, they have to light it. And they wanted to know the pleasure of the board to have an unpainted, unlit, or have a painted lit tower.
This is all about money. And if they're trying to get by a little cheaper, that's okay, but that wasn't what we, but if it requires light on it, that's more money.
I think they're fine with it either way. They just wanted to know which way. They didn't want to step on anybody's toes by, you all approved a tower that was painted and then they don't paint it and put it up and put a light on it. Or they know the BZA's feeling about a lit tower and they don't want to put up a painted tower with a light on it
So
when their proposed tower did not have
It's
a
not
light.
tall enough to be lit though.
FAA says if you paint it, you gotta put a light on
any
it.
paint color other than galvanized?
Are we better off with lit or not lit?
Usually the community doesn't like the lights.
Now, see, when we come up with that painting deal, we come up with that, this is aesthetics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he repainted a little more.
Yeah, and there wasn't nobody really pushed one way or another, right?
Not really.
So if it's not painted, is it rust?
No, it's all galvanized. Yeah. Well, you know, they shine, the light shine is, red during the day, but at night it's, or is it red at night?
Red at night.
Yeah, because if you go up, you never realize how many towers are in the county until you go up to the tower on a clear night and look out over it, and you can see them everywhere.
So the federal guys, we're trying to make it to where that's not seen. The federal people want to know, they want to be able to see it.
This one particular because it's proximity to the airport. But a plane's going, if a plane
It's that much.
clips that tower, it's in trouble.
Neighbors are gonna be awfully upset if it's lit.
Yeah.
I'm in favor. Send it to me.
Just don't, okay. I'll let them know, I'll forward.
Another question, since you brought up that 3 to 2 may not be enough to do this variance,
Yeah.
what about their situation?
What about it?
Well, if we didn't have if the 3 or 2-1 vote wouldn't hold water in the mobile home park out there, would it hold water in there?
No, if I'm thinking right, no.
So what does that mean?
It wasn't 3 to 2. It wasn't 2 to 1. Yeah.
I thought it was majority. but-
It may be, I'll have to read, I think it's one of those,
No, we've had 4 on the board before. We might have to
Yeah.
go back and check some of our records.
yeah.
So maybe we
And that was just a thought that I had go through my, I may be wrong, I mean,
Erase that thought.
Any other business, Roger?
that's it.
We're gonna adjourn?
I'll have a question for this couple.
Yes, sir.
We're-
Could you turn it back on?
Yeah.
You're not recording, sir.
No, I just turned it off.
If they gave you 2x, I don't know, whether it's an acre or half acre, they gave you twice that much land, somewhere else might qualify. Would that not work for you guys?
The circumstances that have happened, it would be hard for me to give them anything at all.
Well, I realize you trapped the cat,
Yeah, I'm awful.
it's not your fault, the cat's not even trapped.
Correct. But there's been a lot other things happened other than that.
But your fence looks nice though.
Thank you.
I mean, that's a nice looking fence.
And that was the deal, was when we moved in there, I put the fence up knowing exactly where the property lines was at, to give them room and be, I'm not gonna use that anyhow, just go ahead and use it. And we know it's ours, you know it's ours. And then things have just progressed as far as, the skunk and cat deal doesn't matter whatsoever. There have been things said to me multiple times, that you shouldn't talk to anybody like that. And I've done everything in my power to keep from not getting physical with it. And I've retaliated once or twice back with words. And, it just, I like my life drama free. I don't understand a lot of this, and I want it to be easy. And
It's something, if you all can swap, have a land swap, and, you maybe get 2 for 1.
Sure.
That's something you might wanna look at, because if it goes to court, and because there was a county employee involved with it from the start, telling them where to put the line, y'all might have to live with it, so you might be able to come out ahead if you can work something out.
Right.
Part of the thing too is if they did give us some property, it would have to be at the very back, which
It's not usable,
is not usable.
but we wouldn't
But
do
you
it.
still have it,
It's still
But we
property.
still do it on any
and
property.
what you did have, you still might have to live with that,
Right.
the garage there.
Like I said,
Your fence is over 5 feet.
I put it off the edge of the garage.
No,
I'm sorry.
on your property line. I'm just trying to say, if the property line on your fence
Yes.
went back to the garage, I don't know if that's an eighth of an acre.
Oh, it was I don't know, it was a 30-foot or 36-foot by 12 or something. Or 10, 10.5.
If his drawing, his photograph is correct, the property line is on his driveway,
Yes,
and your fence is over 5 feet or so.
yes,
Put the 10 out of it.
right.
Are you gonna move your fence over to the property line?
After we get all this figured out, probably.
Well, that means the fence is gonna be on that drive.
We'll be right next to it.
That's gonna be against it.
You've been there?
Yeah, and we're right on what we've done, and they have the right to be right on what they're doing. The other guy's wrong. Really are. And had it been, being honest, but had it been me, if I was about this thing, I'd have a problem with the survey, because if I was building them out, for sure. Now, I really don't have much in it.
And he's a builder.
And he's supposedly he's good.
And that was, I don't mean to interrupt you if I am, but that was the deal when we bought our property. They said it was 4 acres. We had the survey done and it would turn out to be 3.04. So I mean, we lost a whole acre in that, or we could have lost a whole acre, $10,000 in that purchase. That's why we did that. And that's, I think originally why they were so bitter about it is the property line was there and they figured it out. They just wanted to fight me and we
So your
did.
survey came out an acre short
Yes.
of what it was advertised.
What it was on the tax map. Yes, sir, and advertised.
Yeah, that's the single most important thing. Well, second most important thing to do. First is the soil map.
Well, okay, since we denied that 0 lot, they didn't ask for 5 foot, nothing else they could 0, so we denied it 0. What would happen next if they come back and ask for 5 foot, say that?
Good, what'll happen from my office will be that they'll give a letter that give him 30 days to correct it. And then at that point, if he don't do anything or respond, then I'll just,
Correcting it is in the survey,
yeah.
which is carried out first.
But, well, part of it, yeah.
What about the eve overhang? Eve overhang, the overhang sits on the other guy's property too, right? Even everything has.
Our setbacks don't, they go to vertical wall face. So it doesn't include the E
Our
vertical.
setbacks do, but property lines straight up.
Yeah,
And we need.
I think that'd be a property line dispute between, be a civil dispute between neighbors at that point.
Yeah, we can have a good tree. So what happens if he gets 11, he has to correct it, and we don't correct it? Then what happens?
Hand it off to the lawyer.
County lawyer,
So I would love for this to be done. I really would, but I don't want to give in either.
Well, it can dry out for a while, so hang on.
sometimes people make a little bit.
That's the way we feel about it. I mean,
We're hoping y'all can get this worked out, or it'd be,
I would love to. I hate confrontation so bad.
we both
but
do.
I've never met anybody like these people in my life, and what's so bad is anybody I've talked to knows, a lot of people know who they are, and it's not ever good,
because of this situation. or-
just a bunch of,
Previous situations
just
with.
different encounters with different people, the garbage service I talked to, a school teacher, I mean, it's just on and on and on. People know who they are just because of the way they are.
Sound like you got some good neighbors.
So you're not the ones that have a problem?
No,
I'm sorry?
You're not the ones that have a problem?
no,
Oh,
sir.
no.
How many times in that situation, if he comes back next month and asks for 5 foot, how many times can they come back on the same thing?
Well, they can't come back to the same thing. They can't come back, it has to be a different request. I mean, if they came back and requested 5 feet, then that would be a different request. But he would have to submit that and ask for it within 30 days. Well, when I get a letter out to him.
Which house are you living in?
We actually don't live at that residence whatsoever, thank goodness.
Well, basically, is there a house close to the fence near the road?
There is an older 4-room house that's on that property, because the driveway is almost a split, it was a split driveway at one point.
Is that the only house on your property?
Yes, but there's also a large garage on the property, and that was our biggest reason for purchasing the property, was a 30 by 50 fixed garage.
And it's behind the house?
It is, yes, sir.
No one lives in that house? Is that-
No, sir.
It looks like one. Let me ask you a question.
I said, it would just out of at a pure spite, like $5,000. I mean, just, and I don't want to be, and
That's what, that's,
right, and I don't want to be like that, but it's a simple, I'm giving away my land for one, that we did everything right and should have, and two, I mean, you act like somebody, you could, we wouldn't have had a problem.
You try to let them live, let them be to begin with, and then just what will happen.
And I mean, you can see that by the fence and the trees and all that. I was trying to do the best.
So how far back does your property go? How far back does it go?
I don't know how many feet it is. It's a total of 3 acres, and it's pie-shaped. So it's, I don't know what the road frontage is, but it's,
It's pretty good, I mean, it's pretty deep.
it goes pretty good ways.
It's a nice piece of property.
except for the neighbors.
Y'all want to build there?
We were.
Where, I think you're having second thoughts.
No,
about that.
we definitely will not.
It
No.
won't happen.
I mean, at this point, I work out of the garage on my own personal stuff.
Rental house.
No, wouldn't wanna rent that out.
It's moldy.
It was built in the thirties and
Oh.
I'm really,
it's an outhouse.
Trailer.
the plumbing works in it, electrical works in it, but it's a big outhouse.
Would you want to buy it?
Sir?
Would you want to buy it?
No, sir. Because it's too close to the other neighbor. His neighbor on his side,
He's got his lot.
it's very narrow.
But you can't probably go on that.
Yes.
So based on this, you guys now are going to use the property, but you're not going to build and live there.
Correct.
I take that comment.
Okay.
Run back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, when you asked that, I kept thinking of all the people who know who they are, and there's nobody that we've talked to that can befriend them, I guess is the proper way to say it. I don't know.
You know, I guess
I wish I could say this was an unusual case, but I hear this stuff every day.
This is essentially, Blount County zone for 2000, this is probably the, up along the river, the guy had, Reynolds had to tear apart his building back.
Had to knock it out.
There's a guy out here on the lake, he
Cut a quarter
cut
off.
his corner off. But that's just the way it was.
We had one over off a road over here, just not far outside the city, that the lawyers said we didn't have a good case on that one, they didn't, it just went away.
Well, on one of these cases tonight, we did not go down the street because the guy had already built his garage on the lot line and the roof was gonna hang over. And we denied that, and I guess he had to tear it out.
He hadn't built, he put the,
Slab. The slab was already there.
yeah, so he had to modify his plans.
Well, you can't build it, because you can't build it without getting on the neighbor's property, you're on the zero lot line.
Well, yeah, I mean, zero. When did you approve the zero lot?
That's what I'm saying, you couldn't approve it, because you can't work on it and build it.
I
Unless you get on the
forewarned
neighbor's
you.
property. If it's zero.
I forewarned you.
What's the reason for setbacks on sidelines? Just so you get them out, or utility easements, or?
They used to just be 5 feet, and then, the planning commission, I don't know why they changed it.
I think it's just for emergencies to keep it from.
I mean, people make that argument, but I could show you places all over the country that got 5 feet setbacks. See,
Yeah, but you got 5 feet setback, you got 10 feet, you can't even get a trailer. You wanna haul something back of the house, car and a trailer.
at least you can walk around.
They
There's
walk.
somebody go right up on the property line. You get your lawn mower around.
You don't.
They was right down there a few years ago, too close to the front. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Sir,
Yeah.
we currently live in Louisville.
Minter Road.
I'm sorry. It's just a personal garage.
He's got toys.
Yeah, I've got
He's
issues
got
with toys.
like you, Stan.
Yeah. Yeah. Two at this point, and plus a Jeep and all kinds of
So
good
you
stuff.
got cars or tractors?
Off-road equipment mostly, being side-by-side utility vehicles, big Jeep, and dirt bikes and boats and
So she allows you to have those toys?
Half of them are mine.
I was gonna say, we both have issues. The more expensive one are hers. That's the bad part.
Oh, now I see the deal.
Yeah.
Now I see what. You got no good deals here.
Always.
So guys, I appreciate y'all. I don't mean to be difficult. And I've never been in this
Thanks
Well,
for
situation.
you all are in the right. Y'all haven't done anything.
I've got a two-frame TJ, 2.5 ton off level, 44s.
Oh, Stan's got some experience painting those things.
Oh, and C3.
Better watch him.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
See y'all. Thank you.
I would love to, but no, sir.